What's up everyone, PC Courage here, aka Fight Fit, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the basic jab. I'm going to be telling you guys why it is important to learn this strike, how to deliver it effectively, and also some of the common mistakes that I see. And afterwards we can go on the bag and I'll show you guys how to actually hit it back when you're using your jab, okay? So let's get into it. Now, before we actually learn how to deliver a jab, I want to show you how to make a fist, okay? So very simple, bring your hands out, okay? So you got the 5 fingers, the 4 fingers on top. I want you to roll it down like so. And with your thumb, I want you to close it or seal it. Think about the thumb as a Ziploc bag on top, okay? You always gotta zip it, you always gotta close it. Because if you're leaving that thumbs out when delivering that punch, it's gonna jam or it's gonna break that thumb. So you don't wanna do that, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys one more time. Hands is out, 5 fingers, the 4 fingers on top. I want you to roll it down like so. And with your thumb, I want you to close it down, okay? Number 2, I want you to keep a straight wrist. This is very important because especially in the beginning when you're learning how to deliver strikes, if you're not making a straight wrist, it's a very sensitive joint and it's gonna hurt after a while, especially if you're hitting the pads or the bag or you're doing some level of sparring. Okay, so make sure you're actually wrapping your wrist, especially in the beginning, and make sure that you're holding it steady and straight and it's not bending. Okay, the other thing that I want to tell you guys is the point of contact. So the point of contact on the jab is actually the 2 big knuckles on top. Okay, the 2 big knuckles, I'll show you guys, 1 and 2, big 2 knuckles. Okay, so I want you to remember that. Okay, now your stance, when you're delivering that jab, your stance is absolutely crucial. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about the stance, I actually have a video up. I'm gonna include the link in this video so you guys can go check it out, okay? So, but pretty much your stance, Muay Thai stance, legs shoulder width apart. My lead leg is at 12 o'clock, it's very straight. My rear leg is at a 45-degree angle, and I have a slight bend in my knees, okay? So what I want you to do is come to your stance, okay? With your hands up, your lead hand, the one that you're actually gonna deliver. The jab is going to be almost at your eyebrow level. The lead hand is going to be at your chin level. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a few times to deliver that. Pay attention to my elbow. I'm going to bring it out 3/4 of the way and I'm going to turn it, deliver it, and I'm going to take it back straight. Okay, so that's a jab. Okay, if you pay attention, I'm rolling my shoulder. Okay, I'm tucking in my chin and I'm bringing it back straight. Okay, so I'll show you guys from a different angle. I'll go slow a couple of times. Okay, that's a jab. Turns, I connect with the 2 knuckles and I bring back. Okay, connect and bring back. So I'll do it at regular speed. Okay, I'll do it from this angle so you guys can see it. So again, I'll go slow and I'll point out to a couple of mistakes that I usually see fighters or students do, okay? So first of all, a lot of times I see that elbow just being out. So remember, those ribs, if you're leaving it out, you're gonna take those roundhouse kicks and it's gonna really, really hurt, okay? So when you're delivering it, I want you to keep your elbow close to your ribs, you're protecting it, okay? Bring it out 3/4 of the way, you can turn, that's your jab, okay? My chin is tucked in because that's my left chin, it's tucked into my shoulder, and my right hand side, my right side is covered by my right hand. Which takes me to the second most common mistakes that I see. A lot of times when I see students throw a jab, okay, they throw the jab, but this comes down, so it looks like this always comes down, your right hand, you should always be protected on both sides, okay? So my chin is tucked in, my left is covered by my left shoulder, and my right is covered by my right hand, okay? I'm gonna do it for you guys regular speed a couple times. So if you're paying attention, I'm actually rolling my shoulder slightly and I'm carrying my weight, which enables me to deliver a harder strike when I'm delivering that jab, okay? Your shoulders, try not to be too flexing or making it still because you're gonna run out of oxygen, okay? Especially if you're sparring or you're trying to go at the bag a lot. Like if you're just tense, not only your body's going to take more oxygen from you, which is going to make you gas out, but also it's going to make you deliver a short jab. And that's the other common mistake that I usually see. Students throw a short jab, so it kind of looks like this, right? They're not utilizing the full reach, okay? They're not utilizing the full reach, which doesn't make you or allow you to deliver that power, and you're sort of gonna mistake the range, okay? So the jab is gonna do a few things for you, okay? It's gonna let you measure the distance. So that's one of the effective ways that you can use your jab, is sort of just store it out, you can sort of just measure the reach between towards your target or towards your opponent if you spar. Okay, so you kind of just can like throw that out and just kind of figure out what the range is, which also gonna allow you to what? Deliver other strikes. So I can sort of measure it, okay? It's gonna allow me to deliver, for example, my cross, okay? Or my uppercut, okay? So you can use it as figuring out the range and setting up strikes, okay? And it could be part of a combination. So for example, I can use my jab. So jab, cross, I'm gonna go for an uppercut, for example, right? Now, another common mistakes that I see is that students, when they're throwing that jab, they're actually pushing, okay? So this is what it looks like if I were to sort of use my jab to push someone, okay? It's like, it's pushing. Now, when you're using the jab to push someone, it's meant for different things, okay? You can actually create distance to deliver a strike, okay? Or you can sort of just push them back to gain distance. You can also use your jab as defensive movement, right? So if there's a fighter that's coming towards you, you can sort of just, instead of just backing down and sort of having your guard up and just backing down, not doing anything, that fighter is going to attack you and it's going to come very offensive. So just by backing out and using your jab, that fighter that's approaching you, it's going to watch out, okay? They're not going to try to run over you or try to outstrike you from that distance because you're still keeping busy. You might be just want to sort of catch your breath, or that is part of your strategy. You can just sort of back out and just sort of like step in with another strikes, for example, okay? So now let's go on the back and I'm going to show you guys a couple of ways that you can improve your jabs, okay? Alright guys, so let's go over some drills that you can do to improve your jab or just hit a target. Now before we get started, as I told you guys in the beginning of the video, is that you do want to make sure, especially if you're a beginner, that you are keeping your wrist straight inside your glove, which brings me to my other point, is that please learn to wrap your hands properly, because that's going to make that wrist stay stable and it's going to prevent injuries from happening, okay? And last but not least, please get a piece of equipment, okay? Pair of gloves. All right, let's get started. So, as usual, come into a nice fight stance, okay? Measure your reach with your target. Again, that's one of the reasons actually why or how we can use our jab to measure that distance, okay? So measure that distance, and what I want you to do, just based on the techniques that I talked about in the beginning of the video, just practice delivering that jab as many times as you can, okay? Again, practice as much as you can to improve this good technique. Okay, so I'll show you guys. Again, just to go over it, you don't want to telegraph too much, so you don't want to bring up that elbow and deliver it, okay? You want to keep that elbow sort of tucked in to protect your wrist and not to telegraph. So your elbow goes out 3/4 of the way and you're going to turn your wrist. Make sure the palm is actually facing the ground. You're going to connect, and as soon as you connect, you're going to bring it back, okay? A lot of times I see students, when they're connecting with the target, they're kind of leaving it out there. So it kind of looks like that, right? It's like sort of like a couple second hold. You want to avoid that, right? You don't want to leave it out there because it's not going to deliver that impact, and the opponents can use that to use offensive strikes on you guys, okay? So again, deliver it straight and bring it back as fast as you can, okay? And back, and back, and back. Another thing that I see is that people tend to sort of push that back when they're doing that jab, so it looks like this, okay? It looks like that, sort of, it's a push. You don't want to push, okay? That's not what jab is meant for. Again, as hard and as fast as you can, you're going to deliver that straight and you're bringing it back. You can always double up on the jab, so I'll show you how to double up. You're basically going to connect with that bag, bring it back 50%, and you're going to deliver it again. So it looks like this. You can use that technique to whether set up a strike, okay, or stop the opponent from coming in. So if you want to use it as a setup and strike, I'll show you guys how to do it. You can actually deliver a nice right-handed cross, okay? So, okay? Also, another thing that you can do is actually change angles, okay? So, what it means is that I can hit the body and go upstairs, or vice versa. I can start from upstairs the head and go to the body. So it's gonna look like this. Okay, or vice versa, hit the head, go to the body. Just be careful when you're hitting the head because you're going low with that jab. Make sure that your chin is tucked in and you're not getting caught with the count, okay? So even though I'm going to the body, bam, I'm gonna make sure what? My chin is tucked in and I'm covered on my opposite side, okay? Again, all these strikes, what you wanna do, you just wanna practice it as much as you can. Just like Bruce Lee said, I'm not scared of the man that knows 10,000 moves, I'm scared of the man that has practiced one move 10,000 times. That's about it, guys, for today. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Also, in the comments, I want you to go and let me know what are some of the things that you guys are struggling with in terms of delivering that jab, or what are some of the questions that you have and how you can actually effectively set up for other combinations. Okay, guys, thanks so much. See you next time.